Welcome to the Grotto.
The Board Game Grotto.
A Little Big Thumbs series focused on the big thumbs of board gaming.
And in this episode of Board Game Grotto, Milo and I are going to be sharing some of our absolute favorite autumn-themed games.
Yeah, we sure are. And that might even include a couple of Halloween games.
Ooh.
And then right after that, we're going to jump into a quick recap on how we're doing on our 11 by 10 challenge, which is raising money for charities like the Youth Project and the Spiel Foundation.
That's right. And then to wrap it off, to tie a little bow on this episode, we're going to give you a little bit of a tease of what's going to be coming in our final episode of Board Game Grotto Season 1.
Yeah, shall we get to it?
We shall. Let's bring on those fall games. All right, Milo, I got a question for you.
Okay.
What makes a good fall-themed game?
Ooh. Well, it's gotta have the richness of fall in terms of like colors.
Yeah.
I think coloring is very important to me when it comes to a fall game. Also, like, coziness. I feel like out of all the seasons, fall is, like, the coziest of them all. Because it's, like, just in between the cold and, like, hot. You're coming out of summer, but going into winter. It's the perfect temperature. And that, to me, feels cozy.
I love it. I agree. I agree with all those things. I think of the color orange. I think of the wind blowing. I think of that like mix of like slightly warm temperatures but with a cool breeze. As you say, the perfect time of year. As we do with these Board Game Grotto episodes, we got to do, yeah, you know it, we got to do the old rock, paper, scissors. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Bam! I feel like that happens often.
I know.
That you go for the rock and I go for the paper.
I was like, this time I'll do it intentionally because I always do it, and so he'll think that I'll do something different, and it backfired.
Wow, it's that double thing, thinky thing. All right, so we're gonna do these ranked, and so looking at my list, my number 5 game is going to be Sequoia from Allplay. Sequoia is a game, I don't remember if you played this one or not.
I haven't.
Sequoia is a game where it's like a tree growing competition where there are numbered spaces on the table, and we're going to be rolling 5 dice. Secretly, you hide these 5 dice, and you choose 4 of them into pairs, and 1 of them you don't use. And then we reveal those dice, and those 2 combinations are where we place our little tree trunk pieces. And then after 10 rounds, whoever's got the tallest tree in each section gets some points. I think there might be a second place, depending on how many players are in the game. And it's just a cool game. You know, it's got what we talked about. It's got those rich autumny colors, those nice colors. It's set in that forest setting, and it's just a lot of fun. It's quick to play. It's easy to teach. It's great. Sequoia. We got to play that one.
Okay, yeah. I've had my eye on it for a little bit. I love Allplay games. I love all of their dice. So yes, let's definitely play it.
Sweet. What you got?
So my number 5 game is Autumn Festival, the Tea Dragon Society card game. Which is a mouthful, but it is so worth it. This adorable little game is the sequel to the original Tea Dragon Society, published by Renegade Games. And I love this game because it's a very easy deck builder. It's a casual game where, you know, like you can have a conversation with someone and like still play the game, but like very low stakes. Instead of like having a hand of cards, everything is just out in the table in front of you, known as your hold. And the game and the original are both based on the books, and I love the books. The books feature some deaf characters, some queer characters, some non-binary characters. So I really love the books, and you know, I think that they've translated well to the games.
The 2 Tea Dragon Society games. Which one is your favorite if you have one?
I think I do prefer the Autumn Festival one. It's added just like a couple of things that like I didn't realize were missing in the first one, but having played them both, like it just makes it so much better. But you can also like add some of the characters from the first one with the second game to play at a higher player count, which I think is cool as well.
I had a mental list of what you would put on this, and I don't know how that one did not make it onto my mental list.
Surprise!
Great pick.
Thanks. So, what is your number 4 game?
Oh, my number 4 game. My number 4 game is going to be Savernake Forest from Devir Games. I think this might be another one that you've looked at, but maybe we haven't played
Yeah,
yet.
I haven't played it yet, and I knew it was going to be on your list. It looks so cute. It looks so pretty. Oh, I really want to play it.
Awesome. So this is like a tile laying game where we're going to be building a 4x4 grid, and it's sort of like a maze building aspect. And there are some placement rules with which animals can be where and whatnot. Gorgeous production, as is often the case for Devir. There's like a rooster and some lovely little wooden pieces in there. It's compact. It's got that simplicity to it, but also contrasted with some really thinky gameplay. Tiny box can fit into your bag on the go. Wonderful little game. We've got to go play it very soon. Savernake Forest. That's all I got to say. Cool game.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it. And I know that I say that about a lot of your games that you say. I say, oh yeah, I can't wait to play it. But this one I really mean. We need to play it soon.
All right. Cool. Done deal.
Okay.
This season, in fact, in the autumn season, is the time to play the autumn games.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay. Number 4.
My number 4 game is Bosk.
Yeah.
By Floodgate Games. So this is an abstract strategy game mixed with like some area control in it. It's very, very pretty. It technically takes place over like the 4 seasons, but if you're looking at the game, it looks like a fall game. So that's why it's on my list. It's a really neat game. And one of the designers is Canadian, Daryl Andrews.
Both?
Oh, both of them
Yeah.
are. Okay, well, I've only met Daryl. Very funny guy. And yeah, I love Bosk. It's been in my collection. Actually, I think I have your copy of Bosk.
You don't, because I still have my
copy. Oh, you
copy.
still have your copy? Okay.
Yeah.
I
Love
thought I
that
got
game.
it in a math trade, but I guess not. I'm glad that we both have it because it's so good.
Yeah. Daryl and Erica have worked together on many games together. But for me, I think Bosk might be my favorite of those two designers working in tandem. Just an absolutely fantastic game.
So what is your number 3 game?
My number 3, this is going to be my one Halloween game on the list.
Okay.
This game is from Kids Table Board Gaming. This is Haunt the House.
Okay.
And in Haunt the House, we are going to be each playing as ghosts, looking to scare off the ghost hunters that have kind of set up shop in our haunted house. And we don't want them there, because who would want ghost hunters in a ghost haunted house? What we're going to be doing in this game is we're going to be playing cards down. They can either go face down to be focused like on the hunters, or they can be played face up to trigger the abilities in the various rooms in the house. And our ultimate goal is to obviously to be scaring off the hunters, and when we do scare off the hunters, we get some of their gear to kind of show each other and say, look what gear I got. And at the end of the game, whoever's kind of got the best like selection of gear, whoever's got the shiniest gear, is going to wind up being the winner. Now, Haunt the House is one of the earlier kids' table board gaming games, but it still holds up really well. It looks great, as all of their games do. Super fun to play, and it's one of those rare Halloween games that is kind of equally fun for kids and adults, which, of course, you're watching LittleBigThumbs, so you know that's what I'm all about. So my Halloween game, my number 3 game on this autumn-themed list, is Haunt the House.
Nice. I've played Haunt the House, but not many times. I think I've played it a couple, and it was like when it first came out. So it's been a little while for me, but I do remember playing it and loving it. Some of the pieces, I don't know if it's in every copy, but at least in my copy, glowed in the dark, so that was cool.
I think that might have been like a Kickstarter thing. I don't know for sure. But I remember there were some cool like special things that they included just for the Haunt the House Kickstarter edition.
Yeah, it's a great game. You know, it's pretty funny that your third game is a KTBG game, because so is mine. So I've chosen Creature Comforts, which we've talked about before on the channel. Creature Comforts is a worker placement, dice placement game. I mean, yeah, it's a great game. We on the channel love KTBG games. Again, with what you were saying about like the artwork being like so cute, it's a great game. We've talked about it before.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, I am shocked that this is not number one on your list. Although I think I figured out what one number one is now. A great game, fantastic. Creature Comforts, love it forever.
Nice. So what is your second top game?
All right, my number 2 autumn themed game for our list today is going to be Dwarves Fall from Vesuvius Media. Vesuvius Media is based right here in Nova Scotia, where we are. But that's not the reason why it's number 2 on the list. It's number 2 because this is a really great game. The idea here is that we are all building sort of a communal kingdom. We start off with a hand of kingdom tiles and a pile of adorable dwarf meeples. And so on our turn, we can play down a tile into the kingdom. We can drop a meeple into one of the spaces on the board, or we can move one of our dwarves to another space. And this is a game that I've seen it played like very tame and nicely, but it really like kind of shines. It comes out of its shell when you see people start to block people from completing their majorities on a tile. And it can be really nasty, and it's really fun. Adorable artwork, as Luis Bruet always does. Dwarves Fall. That's it's always going to be. It's right over there. It's one of my favorite fall games, which is why it's number 2. Dwarves Fall.
Dwarves Fall is a great game. I've played it a couple of times.
Only a couple of times?
Only a couple of times.
Wow.
Now, winter I have played many times, and spring I haven't played enough.
There you go. We gotta fix it.
We gotta.
All right. What you got for number 2?
My number 2 game is Indian Summer by Stronghold Games.
Oh, right. Okay, this is Uwe?
It is.
Okay.
Yes. So for a very long time, Cottage Garden was my favorite by him. It's part of like a series he does. But after playing Indian Summer a couple of times now, I think it's replaced my number 1 spot for his games. For those of you who aren't familiar, he mostly does polyomino games. This is an abstract strategy, and in the theme of autumn, you fill up your board with different leaves of different shades. There's green, orange, red, and there's like little critters involved, and it's just very cute. And I'm a sucker for polyominoes. It's a good game. And you can play it 1 player too, which I haven't done yet, but I want to.
Great. Is this kind of like, how is this one related to Patchwork? I feel like Patchwork was like sort of the like seed that grew all of these other polyomino games that Uwe's done.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of crossover. So the way that you replace your tiles is very similar to Patchwork. You have like in Patchwork it's different, but in this one you have a bush, and then like the next 5 pieces are the ones that you can replace and put into your backpack in this game. But every game that he does, it's a very similar thing. And the goals are slightly different, but they are all polyominoals, but they're different enough that they don't get boring.
Cool.
Okay, so what is your number 1 autumn-themed game?
My number 1 autumn-themed game has already been mentioned on your list, and that's going to be Bosk from Floodgate Games. I mentioned to you earlier that this design from Daryl and Erica is my favorite of theirs as a duo, and it's this tremendous game. But I'm gonna say that it's number 1, not just because it's a tremendous game. It's got Canadian designers, my favorite of that particular duo. But as far as like capturing the theme of fall, the theme of fall, of leaves literally falling onto the board, somehow in a really aggressive fashion, because it's an area majority game, but it can be like supremely nasty. It's got this serene look to it, but underneath that serene look is like filled with knives under those leaves. But it's got that amazing gameplay. It is one of the most attractive games that I own, with the wooden leaves, and I think, is it squirrels that are in there?
Yep.
It's just a stunning game in all respects, and it's the perfect fall game in my mind. So that's why it's my number one.
Absolutely. It is a great game. All right, so my number one themed autumn themed game is a Halloween game. I have saved the best of mine for last. And yeah, that game is Horrified by Ravensburger. Is it Ravensburger?
It's Ravensburger. I'm laughing because I was totally wrong. I was wrong about what your number one was going to be.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Anyways, please, I'm sorry to derail you. Please continue telling us why Horrified is on top.
I want to know what you thought. Yes, Horrified is a co-op game, and I am a sucker for co-op games. It's got very like pandemic system vibes going on, a lot of like similar actions, but it's got a Halloween theme. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you know this or not, but like queer people call Halloween gay Christmas. So
can you tell me more about that?
I think it just comes from like queer people being like very extra, and I think that there's like a lot of history with like, I want to say like eerie, creepy things. I'm sure we could look more into it, but people do. I don't know why, but they call it gay Christmas.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So yeah, it's a really fun game, and I love the second one as well, and the third one is coming out soon. I can't wait for that one also.
Mm-hmm. I've heard it's really good. Like next level, complexity-wise.
Can't wait. So, what is the game that you thought I was going to put?
I thought you were going to pick Root.
I hummed and hawed about it, but I feel like Root is on all of my lists already. I was like, I have to diversify, but I'm a sucker for Root. I thought about it, but no, I didn't.
Yeah, I just always assume Root's going to be number one on any list that we make together. All right, so that's our top 5 autumn-themed games. And of course, this is the point where we're going to ask you, what are your favorite autumn or Halloween-themed games? Let us know in the comments of this video. And of course, if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed to Little Big Thumbs so you can follow along and find out all the cool things we're going to be talking about, not only in the next few minutes, but also in all of the other videos that we make together.
Yeah, absolutely. Please subscribe. It would mean the world to us.
Awesome. And we'll be right back in just a second to talk about our 11 by 10 board game challenge with an update. Okay, we are back, and it's time to talk about that 11 by 10 board game challenge, raising some money for some great organizations, the Spiel Foundation and the Youth Project. So Milo, let's just run down what we've played, and we'll recap how far we've got to go, because we're pretty close to the end of the year now, and then we'll see how much money we've raised so far. So to recap how this is working money-wise, if I finish playing one of the games on our list 10 times, then I'm going to pitch in $10 to our donation pot. If you also play that same game 10 times, you're going to donate 10, but we're also going to double both, meaning that we're donating a total of $40 per game that we played 10 times each. And what was the thing with the 11th game?
Yes, so we added a bonus game to our 10 by 10, making it an 11 by 10. And if we both finish that 11th game, we're donating another $50 each.
Right, so that brings up a potential total of $500 raised. With that out of the way, let's go. I'm going to bring out Mr. Phony here. Should we go alphabetically?
Okay, yeah, sure.
All right. So that means we're going to be starting with Ahoy.
All right, with Ahoy, I have 7 out of 10 plays.
All right, and I'm at 6 out of 10 plays for Ahoy. Next up is Astronauts.
Astronauts, I have 9 out of 10.
Nice. I've got 6 out of 10 for Astronauts. And then following that is Campy Creatures.
I am done.
Nice. I've still got 5 more to go on Campy Creatures.
Well, now's the time.
Now's the time. Time is running out. Food Fighters. That's next.
Food Fighters, I have a good 7 out of 10.
Very good. I've got 6 out of 10 on Food Fighters. Following that is Ghost Stories.
Ghost Stories, I am finished with.
I am also finished with Ghost Stories. Fist bump. Bow. After Ghost Stories is Kites.
Kites, we're done.
We're done. We finished Kites ages ago. Following that is On Tour.
On Tour, I only have 4 out of 10.
Okay, I've got 10 out of 10 on Tour. Then is Rolling Realms.
Rolling Realms, I have 6 out of 10.
Okay, I'm at 8 for Rolling Realms. After that is Touring Machine.
We're done.
We're done. We're both done. Touring Machine. Then Unmatched.
8 out of 10 for me.
9 out of 10 for me. And then finally, Word Heist.
Word Heist, I have 7 out of 10.
7, and I am finished Word Heist as well. So, for myself, I've got 20 plays left to log before the end of the year to complete this challenge. And I would say, like last time we met, I was maybe at least double that. And so I was quite nervous that I was not going to get to the finish line. But now I'm quite hopeful that I'm going to get to the finish line.
Yeah, totally. I have 22 plays left, so
Okay.
2 more than you, but I feel like most of the plays that I have left are going to be easy breezy. You know, now that Ghost Stories is out of the way, and I'm working on only 2 more games of Ahoy, which were like the chunkiest of games that we had, you know, I'm feeling pretty good. I believe in us. We can do it.
And the last thing that we have to talk about in this video is talking about the final Board Game Grotto episode for this year and for this season. And I say for this season because I'm thankful that you've agreed to do a second season of Board Game Grotto. very excited about that. We're not going to tell you about that now. We'll probably talk about that in the next Grotto episode, and we're not going to do one of our top 5 topics like we've done the rest of the year. That's going to be more of a Q&A session where we kind of get the chance to reflect on the year that has been going through that 11 by 10 challenge. Any thoughts on that, Milo?
Yeah, that sounds great. I am so pumped to come back for season 2. And yeah, we're going to be asking each other questions. Yep. You can ask us questions if you want to know anything about our experience with this 11 by 10 or season 1 of the Grotto in general. Write in the comments below.
Do it. All right. So I think that's done. We're at the end.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
I think so.
What do we say?
Whether you like long games
or short games
or games that are new,
come hang out with us.
The Grotto's got you.